right, we got AM Hoops. James Harden is getting desperate. You know what James Harden did yesterday? They called out Daryl Morey. I thought they were two buddies, but now they're not buddies no more. They don't have no relationship. They don't know each other.
You do not want to mess with James Harden. If you refuse to trade him, he'll potentially put on a fat suit and party in Vegas to make things uncomfortable. Or in Brooklyn, he'll literally stop playing in the middle of your games. Now, dude demands a trade, and Philly says no deal. They have ended trade talks with the Clippers. Too bad, Harden. So he comes out and says this.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of.
That is harsh. And from another angle, did he get his fat suit back out of the closet? But how is the GM Daryl Morey a liar? Harden says last year he took less money with the promise of a max contract this offseason. That is against NBA rules, but happens all the time. But Morey went back on his word, so Harden is burning down the team. But something is different than all his other trade demands in the past. James Harden is about to ruin the NBA for other NBA players. He demanded out after opting into his $35.6 million contract, wanting the Clippers. But rumors say LA refused to include Terrence Mann in the trade.
I can't blame the Clippers for that. Man, he's nice. He's nice. He's not a star, but he's one of those nice players. They just say, oh, he's nice.
Philly,
even though he's not a star, he's nice.
GM Daryl Morey said no deal. Now, reports say Harden has no plans to show up for work as a Sixer. The first comment you'll hear is, so why did he opt in? Don't want to play for Philly? No problem. Don't opt into your contract. But that was the only way that he could get to the Clippers. Every contender doesn't have cap space, so unless Harden was going to take the minimum, he had to opt in so they could trade for it. Now, I'm not saying that is
to be like Russ. Russ took the minimum. Russ took the minimum. Be like Russ.
right. I'm just explaining his mindset. But the
It's crazy. Like I said, it's still crazy how much we know how much the athletes make. Like, we shouldn't know that. We should know how many years they signed for and whether they opt in or opt out, but we shouldn't know the number of how much money they make. I think that's just unfair.
problem is Harden has no leverage. If he wants big money next year, he's got to ball out, not sit out, so Philly is going to call his bluff. Also, no one wants him that bad. He thought the Clippers...
The MVP, the MN9 is MVP, his agent. His agent said that he's in MVP form right now. Harden's in MVP form. He won't be surprised if Harden's in MVP conversation. That's what James Harden agent said. I don't know if it's true or not. He said he's in the best shape of his life. This is agent speaking, so clearly he won't be biased.
Going to be desperate to
but
get
I
a
don't
guy
know.
who can't perform under pressure. Yeah, he had good games in the playoffs, but once again, in the biggest spot, he collapsed. Game 7 against the Celtics, he was 3 for 11 with 9 points. No one would be excited if James Harden came to their team. He's the only person who doesn't see that. Now, Harden is about to ruin the NBA for everyone else. Players worked for years to get max contracts and demand trades. It was called player empowerment. People loved it. Fans and media root for players to get what they want, but no one wants Harden to get his wish. They are sick of him getting paid millions and then acting like a child.
What the? Bro, why you got it?
They are sick of him.
Is this him when he was a kid?
Getting paid millions and then acting like a child. When he doesn't get his way. It is the third time he's
He got
done
his
that.
kids
Now,
like playing in the
Adam
background.
Silver must come out and make a statement against Harden. It is a horrible look for the league when a player can opt into his contract, then refuse to play for the team he said he'd play for. The commissioner needs to say they will use every rule to punish James Harden. The first rule is not getting paid. 2 years ago when Ben Simmons did this, Philly withheld his game checks, which amounted to about half his salary. Then Simmons' agent sued the team and they had to give back some of that money, but Silver should revoke every dime. The second thing is an old rule that has never been used. The NBA says a player who withholds playing services for more than 30 days after the start of the last season covered by his contract shall not be a veteran free agent and shall not be entitled to negotiate or sign a contract with any other pro basketball team until the team for which the player last played expressly agrees otherwise. Basically, if he holds out, he ain't a free agent. The Sixers can refuse to let him sign with any other team. It has never been done because that would be savage. In the era of player empowerment, that would be insane. But now, people would love to see that used against James Harden. Harden thinks he is a max-level superstar who can just demand a trade whenever he wants. That was years ago. Now, teams will feel entitled to fight back against these players. We're already seeing it with Damian Lillard this offseason. He's like the kid in class who doesn't even try to hide his phone. Then the teacher sees it and takes everyone's phone away. You ruined it for everyone else. Things are changing, as they should. The NBA is the only workplace where contracts are meaningless. If Damian Lillard wants to be elsewhere, why did he sign his max extension last year? Same with Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. Nobody's forcing these guys to sign, but the new trend is sign now, ask out later. The least they can do is honor their agreement. And I'm not saying player movement is bad for the NBA. We all love trades and free agency. It's fun, but it's the dirty game some guys play that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. The worst example is James Harden, who has more trade demands than anyone, but he is not the only person to blame. I like
He got more trade demands than rings. His trade demand bag is crazy.
Morey. But what do you do? Is Terrence Mann gonna change your world? The full deal Philly wanted was Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, and 2 first-round picks. How bad would it be to just get Norm Powell and picks? Terrence Mann is worth all this drama? You think Joel Embiid wants to do the whole Ben Simmons holdout thing again? Dude's already hinting at a trade demand. At this point,
Here we go. Harden's gonna convince Embiid. Harden's gonna convince Embiid to ask out. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? The Embiid wants out. They gonna say, nah, you can't get out, Embiid. Nah.
it's a matter of time before the
Then Embiid starts acting up like Harden. Then what? Whoop-de-doo!
MVP
Maxie is on you, Maxie.
is out of Philly. Either they trade
You gotta fix all this, Maxie.
Harden for trash, or Harden causes drama. Either way, it ends badly. But what about the Clippers? Why not trade Terrence Mann to get James Harden? I know he's been horrible in the playoffs, but as a number 3, the best chances Harden has ever had was in OKC and in Brooklyn. Both times, he was the 3rd best player. In OKC, he came off the bench with KD and Russ and made the finals. As a net, he would have won a chip if everyone stayed healthy. That's not hating on the Bucks in 2021. Harden hurt his hamstring, Kyrie sprained his ankle, and it still went to a Game 7. So Harden as a
And they were up 2-0 without Harden too.
is actually a recipe
that,
for
man.
success, and they won't trade Terrence Mann. But I have to say, James Harden's legacy
I don't blame the Clippers. Man is nice. Like I say, he's not an all-star, but he's nice.
is trashed. That's why I was shocked to hear a former NBA player, Jeff Teague, say this.
I got him over D-Wade, but I'm out of pocket. Like, D-Wade, he had Shaq, then he had Bron. He ain't never really been by himself. When Miami was by themselves, they was trash.
Prime James Harden.
He averaged 35 for, like, 5 straight years. Like,
And how many assists?
and, like, 10 assists, bro.
That's-
He better than D-Wade, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
What? I don't care that Harden puts up
I'm not
numbers.
getting into that,
They
man.
dry up
D-Wade my
the
favorite shooting guard of all time, and I like Harden too. I'm not getting into that.
biggest games. Great players.
We're
are
not here to say who's better, who isn't better.
in the playoffs.
I'm just enjoying it.
Wade was paired with Shaq. He was the best player in the NBA Finals to win a chip. Then, when he gets LeBron, he gives the keys to his own franchise to the better player. That is a level of humility we almost never see in pro sports, outside of like when Steph Curry gave the team to Kevin Durant. But Harden has beefed with his best teammates, from Dwight Howard to Chris Paul to Russ to Kyrie. Now, he and Jeff Teague still think that he's a top player in the NBA who can just demand a trade. It's about to kill player
Why you showing the
empowerment,
party
and
in
no
the
one
club
is
like
happy.
that?
But the most fun storyline next year is Rookie of the Year. Wemby versus Scoot versus Chet Holmgren. I looked at who will win the award and why it won't be Wembanyama.